Okay guys, welcome to the next tutorial segment. In this one we're going to start doing the materials, or at least mapping out where we want different materials. So in this case I'm going to start with the middle module and we'll work our way out. So far we have, if we look at our surface editor, this small list of materials. It's going to grow a little bit. We're not so much worried about getting the materials right at the moment. We'll be moving a lot of that into doing a lot of that in layout. So to begin with, this center piece here, which is currently on this default 2, I want this to be a slightly harder still. This is like a bracket section and the like, so we're going to call this one maybe even like a coppery steel. Hard. So this will be hard steel. We will open the surface editor for a moment here because we're going to give ourselves some different colours just to distinguish. So there's our hard steel done. These pipes we're actually going to call pipe connectors, like them. This one we're going to call interior, like that. And then the majority of the rest of this we're just going to, on this one at least, I'm just going to call it still. You can unhide everything here. Go into our surface model. And leave it like that. Materials queue, if you don't already know. Here's where it gets a little bit more complex. We've got more on here. So we'll start with the copper sinks. We've already got these named. We know we want to call them copper sinks, so they can go away. This, I'm going to select all this area and hide everything else for the moment, because we need to do a couple of well, not adjustments, but selections here. So I want to select this outer edge loop. So this edge loop and this edge loop, as well as this one and this one, and we're going to call these rubber seal. We'll give them a blackish colour. Hide that. this one and this one will be steel, not that we expect to actually ever see that. Now, all these little ones, these little raised bits, we have to decide on a colour for them. We can go have a look at our Jovian Chronicles books to try and get an idea of what type of colouring we want. And if you give me a moment, I'm actually going to pause the video and see if I can't find the artwork of the Jovian Chronicles for a moment. So, okay, this is the artwork of Jovian Chronicles. If we have a look, we can see that this is definitely like a metal on the outside. And the problem we've got is even just a flick through doesn't really show us the specific item section that we're after. So it's not much use to us at the moment. We're just going to have to guesstimate. So with that in mind, we're going to carefully select all these, which were done. These have all been, the other problem we've got here is these have all been actually welded. To the merged with the lower part, and I'm going to pause for a second again. So, okay, we've got most of this edge selected. I've got a cat that is acting like it's starved despite the fact that it's probably one of the most well-fed cats on the planet. I just realised I probably could have done this way. So we're just going to select this entire inner ring. Like so. Now we're going to run down the edge here. And deselect items, and of course managed to do that, which we had not wanted to do. So we've got just these squares selected. We're going to darker steel. That's all I can think of for a name for it at the moment. tell them to go away. Can see how many mesh errors on this, but can also see we didn't get them all. We need to just get all these. Parts here. The backs don't bother me as much. Well, to be honest, the backs don't. Getting the backs of them doesn't really bother me at all. If anything, I really should go through and delete them. The mesh for this center section was made a long time ago. With some bad modelling habits. So, okay, darker steel, and then all that is left, so all the parts here that's left, we're going to call this composite framework. Steel composite frame. So that gives us our middle section done. Yeah, I did a quick little bit of cleanup on this just to stop any display issues in layout, which is I basically just tripled the surfaces and cleaned up this edge piece here. So now we move on to this section. We've got the piping already on its own material. We've got our brackets already on its own material. What I normally do for something like this is create 2 or 3 materials and just call them whole material 1, 2, all the like. So I'll start looking at this, how it seems to be built. Say that everything at this level is one plate, but we need to turn symmetry on. So whole plate 1. Give this indent can be whole plate 1 as well. This can this it. The indent up here can probably be as well, but we'll work on that in a moment. Let's get the lower sections down here done first. So we've got hull plate 1. We'll make this outer box minus the indent sections here. Hull plate 1 as well. I've got those all hull plate 1. The reason we're doing just hull plate 1, hull plate 2 and the like is we're going to be using a lot of nodal textures, and I just find it easier this way. This big centre section here, I'm going to call it hull plate 2. Make certain we've got it all. So this is hull plate 2. And we'll also make this section up here we'll hide everything else for the moment. We'll make this segment hull plate 2 as well. These we're going to make hard steel. May change it later to something else, but I'm going to make these the copper sinks colour, and the rest of this we're going to call hull plate 3. So now we need to do this top section. The inside of this rotor cuff so this part, and it's going to be plate annoying with me. So this part and this part, but not this segment. This is going to be the rubber seal colour. make this whole plate 1. Everything on this side will be rotor cover, and then this segment will all be whole plate 1. Make this little indent, I'll make it whole plate 3. Majority of this big piece here, which should be basically all of our defaults. Whole plate 3. Now we need to do these sets. And I actually made this harder on myself when I made it by not separating out the various colour toned or plate areas into their own individual materials when I made it. I've got a couple other small problems I'm going to have to look into. Well, not problems, but textures just named the wrong things. That we'll have to fix up in a minute. So, anyway. This set will hold plating 4. one will be whole plating 5. And these little dots we're going to make the copper colour. I'll probably actually end up doing them as covers. And these two little bits here, we've got the problem, we need to remember what material we did. This top segment, I believe we did it whole 3 by the looks of it. And we also somehow managed to make this the wrong one, so we're going to make this whole plating 4. So that's those sections all done. We need to select all this one again and probably actually quicker at the moment to do it this way. Select this one, hide, select all of that one, mirror, unhide, save. Now, something I did notice when I was looking at some of the reference materials before on this, we need to, this is a different colour to everything else. So, flicking back over here, if we have a look, we've got a slightly different colour here, and then, yeah, most of the exterior is all thing, but we've got different colours here. We've got a little icon in here pointing to the emergency window thingy. I don't know what it is down here, but so we're going to basically end up using 2 materials here. We'll use whole plate 2 there. 2, 2, 2. So this will be, oops. This is all going to be whole plate 2. Now we can, looking at the pictures, we actually did this. There should have been a break in the like in these, but it's called artistic license. Whole plate 2. And whole plate 3. We want to somehow we didn't get the, so these are going to be, deselect this for a second. This is going to be that composite. steel composite frame material. Default 3 and defaults. It's all going to become hull plate 1. Now we've got our thrusters. Now the thrusters are actually already all labelled, but we need to label out a couple of other bits here. So what we do here is we need to turn symmetry off. This will be thruster 1. We'll call it left. Actually, it should be habitat 1 thruster left. Habitat 1 thruster right. Habitat 1 thruster back. Habitat 1 thruster front. So we should only have inside thruster and glass left, which is what we wanted. What we now need to do is mirror this, copy it obviously, delete this one, paste, and now we need to change this to 2. This is our left ones. Two. And 2. So we've got the thrusters all done, we've got most of our materials done, or at least originally mapped out. Now we'll need to do a UV map, and I'm just going to pause for a moment and we'll get back onto it. So yeah, anyway, we've just done this part. Now of course in doing all this we should have UV mapped what we needed to UV map beforehand. But I wasn't thinking, so we're going to do it second. Here, if we have a look we can see that we need a little triangle section on here. And if we're doing the ring, we'd have names on the ring as well. But for the moment, we're just going to do these triangles. But by the looks of it, we also need to put 2 little lights. We'll quickly put model in 2 little lights onto that panel. So we're going to take this. We've just selected the front part of this texture. We're going to change this view down here to UV texture. We're going to hit the T here, go new, and have module textures. It's got to be mapped on, we want it left as planular along the Z. We want to set this to manual. So at the moment we're going to set this to 0, 0, 0, but we're going to set the size out to, for the moment, 100, 100, 100. And we'll notice when we hit create we get on our UV map down here just a lovely little polygon, and for the moment we just want that lovely little polygon like that. We'll fix up the rest of it later. Just realised the cuts are different on each side here. That's fine. I want to create another one. Just going to put it here. Now we want to go up to the top set. Still got the bottom one here, so we don't need this one. I'm going to come up to the top here. And I really shouldn't have closed this, but that's the reason we use some rather large numbers. It's just make certain that we've got the same texture set. Create. I'm going to have texture up the top here. Deselect that one. And select this one. And do the same. Now the other thing I'm thinking of with this is, it's not on there but I want some identification on these textures so that you know if somebody came across the debris you could tell who it was. I'm going to put it on these sections, just highlighting them at the moment. So the quick and easy thing to do here, select them, create. So we've got the front and the back here, we need to separate them out so that we can map properly. And then we need our left and our right, change the axis to X. Again, move them out. Jump down the bottom here and we're going to do the same. And the front and the back. So now we need to just arrange our UV textures slightly, resize them up to something we're more happy with and all that fun stuff. So, how do we do that? Well, this set, I'm just going to increase it by 550 times. And we're going to do some dragging and dropping again. And on this set, about 400. Now you could actually have these overlap, purposely not got them overlapping. But we may end up having to have them do so. Or at least resize them slightly. Yeah, we need to adjust the scale just slightly here. Because we've now got the extra room, we'll put this one so it's actually matching how it faces. So that gives us that texture which we'll use later on. And that's how you do UV maps. Sometimes you have to do a lot more complicated and the like. So, those saved. We go to our, get this back to our left view. Now I'm going to load in an object I've got that I know has got the materials I'm after on it, but if you don't have it already like this, if you go to Andrew Com's website, which I believe is so if you go here, Andrew has this little free chair and it has two nodal textures on it. And it has two textures, one's a metal texture, the other's, I think it's called leather in the scene, but you can use it for just about anything. And here on mine, it'd be the struts are his metal texture, and everything else is his other texture. So I'm going to copy this one. I'm going to paste it actually on rubber seal. Now I'm going to grab the struts material here and I'm going to place it on my steel. I'm going to save and synchronize the layout and come across the layout. So starting with the next tutorial, we'll start tweaking these materials out, getting them how we really want them, and like here in layout, and I'll go through some other workflow that I do. Anyway, thanks for watching. Name's Rob, and I will catch you next time.